Welcome to Coding Dev. Today we will see how to upload files in React with Progress Bar. This is the tech stack we will be using. For the front end we will make use of React and we will make use of Bootstrap for displaying the UI elements, and the Axios will be used to upload files to the backend, and in the backend we will be using a Node.js with the help of a Express.js server. Then we will make use of this multi library to receive files from the backend. Let us get started with the project. Navigate to the directory where you want to create the project and create a folder called say React file upload and navigate to that directory. Inside this directory, let's create two folders. One is client and another is server. Let's create the server folder. Now let us go to the client folder and initialize our React project. For that I'll run npx create React app and I'll say dot, that is the current directory. Once the installation is completed, let's open the project in the VS Code. Here, as we do usually, let's go ahead and delete the files which are not required. That is app.css, app.test.css, logo.svg, report web vitals.js and setup.test.js. And let's go ahead and delete all the references. I'll remove this until we will be updating later. Let's go to index.js and remove the web vitals reference. Since we will be making use of a React Bootstrap for constructing the UI elements, let's go ahead and install that. I'll copy the command from the documentation. Let me open the terminal. Since I'm using yarn, let us do yarn add React Bootstrap as well as Bootstrap. Let me just zoom the editor for a better visibility. Let the installation complete. Meanwhile, we'll go to the documentation and we'll copy the import statement from here and we'll go in app.js and paste here. Now the installation is complete. Let's see how layout system works in React Bootstrap. So this is how the basic layout works. Let us just copy it and paste it in our app.js. I'll remove this div and replace it with the container. So we need to import this container from React Bootstrap. So let's just do that. Let's import row and column as well. Let us just start the server and see how this looks now. Okay, we get there app.css is not defined. Let's remove that reference. Let's reload it. Yeah, we see that 1 out of 1. We want the content to be central aligned, so let me just add some styles there. What I'll do is for this column, I'll do in a larger screen, I'll keep a span of 4 and an offset of 3. I'll just explain what this does. So what we did here is in Bootstrap, each page is divided into 12 columns. So from the documentation, in order to center an element, what we need to do is we have to give some offset to it. Say we will give an offset of 3 and a span of 6. That is, we will have 3 columns in the left and 3 in the right, and in the center we will have 6. I think we did a mistake here. It should be 6. So what this will do is center align our elements. The LG here indicates this is applicable to large screens, that is screens above 992 pixels. Now let's go ahead and create a form. Let's go to the documentation again and see how forms can be created in React Bootstrap. So we have this form tag. So let us import that component from React Bootstrap and include it here. And inside that we have form groups where we have label and the form control. So let's copy our form group also. Inside this form group we need to create a file upload button. We don't need this email address and password. Let's go where we can see file upload button. Yeah, we have this file input here. So let us just copy this from here. Let me just copy this content and replace this form group. And see what we see in our input. Yeah, we see this default file example. Just rename it to upload a file or select a file. I'll go with select a file. And we need a button to upload the file. So let's go back and see where we get styles for the button. I think we have some button here. So let's copy this button. Since this is a part of the form, let's include it inside the form group. And this button is being imported from React Bootstrap. We don't need the text submit here. Let us rename it to say upload. Now we have an input to select the file and a button to upload. We will be making use of Axios as discussed in the introduction to make API calls or upload the file to the backend. So let us go ahead and install Axios. Let me run yarn add Axios. While it is getting installed, let's go ahead and create a folder called utils here inside the source directory, and inside this I'll create a axios.js file. Inside the Axios file, let's import Axios from Axios. What we are doing here is we are just adding the URL to the Axios and telling Axios to call this URL every time Axios is referenced. So let's just create an instance of Axios. That will be Axios instance equal to, we can create it by calling axios.create of. We'll pass what is the base URL to be called. Our base URL will be nothing but the backend URL which we will be creating in a while. So I'll be naming it as localhost colon 8081. We'll create a server in this port and we will just export this from here. We have this form here, but we are not doing anything with the form. Let us add a submit handler for this form. Let me just write submit handler function. Let me receive the event as a variable e, and let me just bind this to this form. And submit equal to submit handler. I did a typo there. Let me just rename it. Let us call e.prevent default so that whenever a user clicks on the submit button, the page does not get reloaded. In order to send any file or any form data to the backend over the network, we need to create a variable of type form data. So let us just create form data here. In order to store the file contents temporarily, we need to have a local state. So let's create a use state hook and let's call this state as selected files. We'll just import the use state from React. Let us go ahead and bind these selected files to the file input. So let us call inside the onChain handler. We'll call an arrow function and set selected files. We'll receive the event as e and e.target.files will have the files uploaded. The files here is plural because user can upload multiple files. As far as this tutorial is concerned, we will be uploading a single file. Since now we have this selected files inside this selected file state, and let us add this to our form data. Form data.append. Now the key will be file, and since we are interested in only one file, let us do selected files of 0. Since we are expecting the selected files to be an array, let us initialize the state with an empty array so that our code doesn't break when there are no files uploaded. Now let us import our Axios instance, and we'll just do a post call. So when we upload the file, we have to make HTTP post call. Our route will be upload file, which we'll be creating in a while, and we'll pass the data which is inside the form data variable, and we need to specify the header. Since we are uploading files, we need to say that this is a form data. We can do that by telling content type as multipart / form data. Form -data. Now we have a front end ready. Now let's go ahead and create a backend to receive the files. Let's go to the terminal and navigate back to our server directory, and let us initialize the npm project here by running npm init -y. -y means we'll accept all the default parameters. Let us open this in VS Code. We have the package.json here. Let us update the package.json with the start script node index.js. So let's go ahead and create this index.js file. As discussed in the introduction, we will be making use of Express. So let us add Express, Malta, as well as CORS. CORS will be used for the CORS origin request so that we don't get the CORS errors in the front end. We'll create a upload file.js, which will be a utility file for uploading the files. We will import Malta here. Require Malta. What we will be doing is we will save the files inside uploads directory. So we need to specify to Malta that the uploaded files need to go to this directory. So let's open the documentation and see how that can be done. So in the documentation says that we need to give a destination directory as well as the file name. So I'll just copy this thing here and paste here. So our destination will be / that is current directory inside that uploads directory. And we need to specify the file name here. We don't want to give the file name like this. What we need is we will have a date prepended so that if user uploads the same file, it doesn't get replaced, and we will save the original file name like that. We can get that by calling file.original name, and we will just remove this line here. We need to export this storage from here. So let's create this upload function, and we'll pass this storage configuration to the Malta, and we'll just module.exports equal to up. In the index.js, let's go ahead and import the packages we have installed. So let's import Express as require Express. We will repeat this syntax for CORS and Malta as well. Let's also import upload.js from upload. Let's create the Express app using const app equal to express. Now we need to whitelist our localhost in cos. What I do is I have this code snippet which I use in most of the project wherever I use cos. So I'll just copy paste this. What this code snippet does is it tells cos to whitelist this localhost if the request comes from any other origin, then it will just throw an error. I'll give the link to this just in the description below so that you can copy paste this code and use it in other projects as well. Moving ahead, let us create the app.post route which we need for uploading the files. That will be upload.file, which we used in the client side, and since we are uploading single file, we need to specify multer that we are uploading a single file. This file is nothing but the key we have given in the client side, and we'll write a function here which will have a request as well as the response. Let us just check if request.file is not there or not. If it is not there, let's just throw an error. We'll use the key file missing. Otherwise, we'll just respond saying that status is success. Since we are throwing this error, we need to handle this error. Let us write a middleware for that. Let's write a function which will receive the error request response as well as the next function. We check if the error is an instance of multer error. If it is a multer error instance, then we'll just pass it to the response. We'll set the response.status code as 400. That is some error from the user, and we will do response.send. We'll just pass the code as error code. If it is any other error from the multer error, we will pass our custom error codes. We'll check if it is the error passed here, that is file missing. We can check that by doing error.message equal to file missing. If that is the error, then we will just pass it again in the similar fashion. We just need to replace this error code with file missing. And if it is any other error caused by the server, we'll just say that this is caused by the server, that is 500, and this is a generic error which we don't know, and we will just display generic message for the user. So this is the error handling part. Now let's go ahead and create the server. That can be created by calling app.listen. Remember the port we want is 8081, and we'll write a callback function, and we'll just console log server started at 8081. So let's go ahead and start the server. npm start. You can use node 1 also. So whenever you make a change, the server get restarted automatically. We see the server is started at 8081, and let's open our client project. If you stop the client project, go ahead and start it, and let us open it and try uploading a file. I'll upload this image here and click on upload, and let's see that we see nothing happening here, but let's go ahead and see if that got uploaded. and as you see it has got uploaded. It has got a date string as well as the file name we have uploaded. But our objective is to show the progress bar when the file is being uploaded. So let us implement that in the client side. Bootstrap has a component called progress bar where we can show the progress bar along with the current progress. So let us just include this in our project. So let me just copy this and paste it here inside the form group. Let me import the progress bar. We need to tell how much progress is done. Let us say hardcode this to 50 till we get the actual value and see if this gets displayed properly. Just refresh it. Okay, the progress bar got imported from some other package. So let's import this, make sure it gets imported from React Bootstrap, and let's remove it and let's just refresh it. And yeah, we have the progress bar. There is some spacing issue. Let's move this outside the form group and see if that works. Okay, that doesn't work, so we need to give a margin here. So let's just copy this margin bottom 3 for this form group as well. Hope this works now. Yeah, this works fine. So we need to get the value of this progress as the file is being uploaded. We can do that by inside this access instance. This has a parameter called upload on progress where we can pass a callback. We get the progress as our data, and here since this progress will keep on changing, we need a local state to store that. So let us call the useState hook and create a local state called progress. Start with 0, or we'll just keep it as empty so that we show the progress bar when there is progress. So what we'll do is set progress to, we have in data we have two parameters. One is data.loaded, which will show how much of the bytes has been uploaded, and we have data.total, that is the total byte size of the file. Since this will give you fractional values, we don't want the fractional values to be displayed. We just need the whole numbers. So what we'll do is we'll call math.round on this. We'll convert this to a percentage by multiplying it by 100. So we have the progress in this progress state. So we'll just display it here. We'll pass our progress here, and it shows undefined. Yeah, so we need to show this progress bar only when progress has a value. So what we'll do is we'll check if progress is there, then only we'll show the progress bar. Now this is hidden, so let's go ahead and upload and see. What we see is it is suddenly changing from 0 to 100. We are not seeing the actual progress. So for this what we need to do is upload a really huge file so that we see the progress. This is happening because our server is in the local system only. The network is faster. So we'll go to my downloads and find a file, a huge file. I have a 150 MB file here. Let me open and upload this. You will see the progress bar nicely appearing here, and we'll go to the server and see if that gets saved in the server. And yeah, it is saved here. We'll just go to the directory and verify that. Yeah, 152 MB file is. If you want to see the progress bar for small files, what we can do is can open the network terminal, network tab, and set this throttling to fast 3G or slow 3G, and we can choose the file and we can click on upload. We will see the progress bar. Just change it to slow 3G and click on upload, and you'll see the progress bar very slow. Now if we don't upload any files and click on upload, we don't see any error being displayed. If we go to the console Let me just change back this to no throttling and click on upload. We'll see the request is being failed, and in the response we are getting this response code as file missing. So let us make use of this and show some error message to the user. If you go to the Bootstrap documentation and see, we have this alerts where we can show the error messages. So we'll import that alert and display the error message. We'll import the alert from React Bootstrap. We don't need a key since this is not a list, and we'll say the variant as danger. Once we have the error message, we will just replace this with the error message. Yeah, the error message is shown here. Let us create a local state called error to store the error message. And we will display the error only if there is one. And we will replace this with error variable. Now how do we get the error? We can get the error by binding a catch function here. So let us go ahead and see what do we get in the error. I'll just console log the error here. Let us open the terminal console and click on upload. We don't understand anything from this. Let us print this as an object and see if we get something. Yeah, inside this error we have response. Inside the response we have data, and inside that we have the code where it says file missing. So what we want is our code. We'll just destructure that from where we can do that error dot response dot data. I'll just add optional chaining here so that the catch block itself doesn't throw any error if this response and data is missing. Thinking of that, we'll have to do this for the code also, otherwise if code is missing we'll get an error. So I'll just do dot code, and since we'll have multiple errors, let us write a switch block where we check for the code if it is, in our case, because in our error handler we have file missing. If it is file missing, then we will set error to some descriptive message, say please select a file before uploading. Okay, what is this warning? Okay, we need to have a default case in switch block. Let's write a default one. Okay, why default is giving an error? We don't have to write a case inside in front of default. In default, let us set, say, sorry, something went wrong. Something went wrong. We don't know what went wrong. And let's write break after each switch case. So let's go ahead and see if this works. We click on upload. Say it says select a file. We don't want this progress bar to be displayed whenever there is an error. So let us add the check here. If there is no error, then we show the progress bar. And I'll just refresh this and click on upload. It says please select a file before uploading. And I'll just go ahead and remove this console log as this is no longer required. Also, when uploading files, you might need the user to select a certain kind of file. Say you want to upload only images and you want to restrict the size of the images. So let's go ahead and implement that next. Let us go to our server and first add the file size restriction. So let's go to our upload.js where we have declared the multer function, and we can pass an optional parameter called limits where we specify the file size here. So let us say no file size bigger than 1 MB. We can specify by calling 1024 into 1024, which will be 1 MB. So let us see if this works fine. Click on the file which is greater than 1 MB and click on upload. Nothing happens. Just reload this. Okay, we need to restart the server. Let me go ahead and start this in node mode. If you don't have node mode, you can install it globally so that this server gets restarted whenever we make some changes. Let me just click upload again. Yeah, we get the error, so sorry, something went wrong. So we don't know what went wrong. So we'll just check the network response. Let me upload again, and we get limit file size as the code. So we'll add that condition here. We'll add another switch case condition, and I'll just copy this limit file size, and I'll say file size is too large. Since we know the file size should be less than 1 MB, let us say that to the user. Please upload files below 1 MB. Okay, what is this warning? Okay, I mistakenly copied it twice. I'll just remove it. Now let's go ahead and upload. Click on upload. I'll just reload it and click on upload it. Upload the file again. Okay, now we get the error message correctly. The next thing will be to add file type restrictions. We can go back to the server and we can pass another callback as file filter. This will get the request file and a callback. So we can check the file type using file.mime_type. We'll check for whether it is image/png. We'll allow only uploading image files. We'll check if it is JPG or JPEG. JPEG. If that is the case, then what we need to do is we'll just call the callback. Since we don't have to throw any error in this condition, we'll pass null and we'll pass true since this is the accepted file. If that is not the case, we'll just return by calling the callback with an error. We'll call a new error with, say, invalid type. This error code we'll be using in the front end to display error message, and this is not an allowed type, so we'll on false. Let us see, let us just refresh it and upload a file which is not an image. That's an image. Let me select something which is not an image. Upload. Start to upload, and again we get the error, something went wrong. Okay, why we are getting a generic error here is since this is a custom error, we need to pass it in the error handler. So let us check if the error message is invalid type. Let me just copy this from here. If that is the case, we'll just pass error message to the front end. Now let me just refresh this and upload a file which is not an image and click on upload, and if you see here we'll get the invalid type here, and let us add that in the front end in the switch case. I'll just copy it again and I'll just copy this invalid type, we'll paste it here, and we'll say this file type is not supported, only .png .jpg and .jpeg files are supported or allowed. Now let me just refresh and test that. Click on upload. Yeah, this says these files are not allowed. Let us just test our basic upload functionality works. Let us upload an image which is less than 1 MB and click on upload. Yeah, it got uploaded, I believe. Yeah, it got uploaded. So that's it from this tutorial. Hope you all liked it. If you have any questions, do post them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until we meet next time, bye bye.